Good day. I suggested we do a video from here today in the town centre to remind ourselves and the residents of Ashford, the business owners of Ashford, but most importantly, Noel Ovenden, that this is the town centre. The recent project that's been announced at Elwick Place cites its self-containment, its all-day experience as its main selling point. This was fascinating to me. It basically means no one has to come down this high street. A bit like the designer outlet. A friend of mine I hadn't seen in several years called me last week. He was very interested to know what was going on here. He works for an organisation that works across the south coast counties of England. And he said Ashford has been an area of special interest among his colleagues for a while now. The catchphrase, "what the bleep is happening in Ashford," is now quite commonplace. Basically, no other town between Folkestone and Truro seems to be so deliberately isolating its high street. The other thing that was interesting me about the wording of why they want to get rid of Match's Sports Bar from their cinema with a choice of words. It can get quite lively and out of step with their vibe. To me, these are obvious euphemisms, even if they're not obvious to the people who are saying them. Apparently, they aren't. I think there's a real fear of Ashford being a working-class town. I don't think they want it to be. I think the idea that it is scares them. I think that's why Noel hasn't engaged with the people of Ashford.
Just go on about the cinema. Obviously, we talk about costs that it's going to cost the taxpayer. I know, obviously, we look at the report and you go back through some of the numbers. What we're costing the taxpayer at the moment to subsidise the cinema, that over the period of 5 years is a lot less than what it's going to cost for all of this. And what you have to remember is this is a business that's going to come in and they could walk away tomorrow and say, oh, it's not worked, and it's back on the taxpayer to have to pay for it. We look back at when this report came out, this is July 25. If you look back to when Park Mall happened, obviously that was December, that you guys were obviously given notice. Those decisions would have probably taken place around about July 25 before they came out publicly to the residents and to tenants of Park Mall. So clearly this is a long-term ambition that they've had for a good while. And this isn't about, saying don't invest into Ashford. It's not that at all. We want investment, but what we don't want is our taxpayers' money going to kick out a successful business that employs local residents and who contribute to the local economy. Clearly work around a very successful business. Don't kick them out. Don't get rid of the competition. We want investment in Ashford, but this isn't the right way. And obviously, with Park Mall, that it's behind us and it's currently empty. What happened there with you guys? Because obviously you guys were tenants.
Well, it's left a sour taste in our mouth. I mean, myself had Baby Art Studios. We relocated from Folkestone to invest in Ashford because I live in Ashford. And we spent a significant amount of money on redevelopment of it, and also opened a baby scanning registered clinic next door. So I've probably put about £60,000 to £80,000 into the project, which I never going to get back. And there was very, very little help, although the council promised that they were going to support us with financial help. It didn't materialise. I mean, it's so stupid. Even when we had to move out, the bureaucracy, and even one of the traders had to move down to the high street to bring the removal van in, and they were charged £120 by the council. This is stupidity. There's no support. And it's not making it very business friendly for other businesses to want to invest in Ashford.
I've lived in Ashford for 30 years. I've taken my child to that bowling centre. We've made lots of good memories down there. The existing one. And I can't help but feel bringing in the new one is only going to do one thing. It's going to bankrupt the other one. And where is the care and the consideration for that business and for the people that work there of Ashford all of these years, so you can save your own skin and get nice rent income from the new store down at the cinema? It just shines a light on the 24 stores that were evicted not so long ago. And I was able to thankfully get the empty business grant that was given, but that wasn't from the council, was it? That was from the government. You know, you didn't stick your hands in your pockets for us then. You know, we got through COVID and dusted ourselves down. Most businesses collapsed, but yet you're willing to pay 800 to 900,000 for matches monies that you didn't have, but now you do have. And a 2.4 million for the regeneration or whatever it is you're going to do down at Elwick. I think there's the lack of transparency, hypocrisy at the highest level, and no consideration for the hard-working people of Ashford. And you know, you're leaving us in the cold, and you're just drawing away from the town centre.
There should be a consultation with us. A lot of people in Ashford are quite intelligent, and it's quite insulting that the council doesn't give us an opportunity to voice what we'd like to see happen. I'm going to give you an example. Why don't they turn the cinema into a theatre? We could put more seats in there. It's a bigger venue. We've got a cinema in Ashford already, which is at Eureka Park, which is doing very well, and keep, you know, just and use the bingo hall for a bingo hall or for a smaller venue, but not certainly, as Tom said, 200 people. I mean, that's not going to be cost effective. All these ideas are just Looney Tunes.
Even with Arts Council funding, it's going to be a really uphill struggle.
And we'd be subsidising that.
At the recent announcement of the bingo hall being turned into an arts centre with a theatre. Great. What a relief. But 200 max capacity seating, that is going to be an uphill struggle for anybody running a theatre. If you'd spoken to anybody in regional theatre or anyone who set up an arts centre, he'd know that. And there are a few within this county. I've spoken to 2 of them in the last week. I don't want to think that him creating this arts centre is part of a larger plan. I get no enjoyment from being this cynical about our local lead councillor. But when you start engaging in politics, you're following words, but you're also following patterns. There's a pattern of setting things up to fail, like not upkeeping the shop fronts in Park Mall. As I say, I have no enjoyment in being this cynical, but what happened to the traders of Park Mall, what subsequently come out about Elwick Place, the July 17th consultation, its recent disappearance from YouTube and the scrutiny of the wider public has kind of sealed that in me. And any project that now happens within the high street from Knoll, great, but I'll be sleeping with one eye open.